Good people of YouTube, my name is Spanner, welcome back to another episode of Deathgate. So we've just completed the realm of Patryns, so let's go back to Lord Tsar and tell him everything that happened. You hand over the fire seal piece and quickly recount your experiences on Patryns. Tsar listens closely to your description of Zifnab and the Titans, obviously troubled by both encounters.
Excellent, my son. You exceed even my best expectations. Not only did you recover Patryns' seal piece, but you have discovered a living sartan. I doubt that he is alone, as he claims, and the addition of these Titans to his forces means that he is someone to be reckoned with. I will have to adjust my plans to compensate. We might have to destroy this citadel to be sure of the giant's destruction. It is a shame you couldn't bring Zifnab back with you for further questioning. You have the crystal fragment of the world seal. Use that to place the naming rune of Abarrach upon your steering stone, and then leave as soon as you can. Events are occurring at a fast pace. If even one sartan knows you exist, we must assume they all do. But we need information. I must know what the other realms are like, where the sartan's forces are, and what they number. And I need those seal pieces. Good luck, my son.
Zifnab seemed mad, but he genuinely cared about the mensch there. He had a plan to make their lives better.
Who knows how far gone that sartan was? Living in solitude with those mensch would have driven anyone insane. No wonder he was obsessed with them. Hopefully, when the world is reformed and we destroy the citadel, he'll disappear along with it.
What about Zifnab's dragon? Do you consider him a threat?
If I believed in him, I would. Don't take this personally, my son, but dragons are fairy tales, legends, nothing more. This Zifnab played on your gullibility. I've read that the sartan used to command the art of illusion. He must have created the dragon for your benefit, to keep you from killing him. It worked, didn't it?
If you destroy the citadel, won't that kill the mensch that have moved inside?
Are you questioning my tactics? Don't you understand that the threat represented by the Titans far outweighs the importance of the lives of a few mensch? Don't get personally involved with them, Haplo. This is war. There are always sacrifices.
That's enough for right now. I'd like to talk to you later if you don't mind.
Very well. I'll be here.
Can I use the stone with the...
That's nice, Haplo, but I don't have the time to look at everything you bring back. I must continue my research. Please return when you're ready to report.
Not the great evil, apparently. Not the steering wheel. Alright, let's go to Abarrach, World of Stone. We're halfway there. Oh, so, okay, so the world of fire had no fire at all. It was all a nice green forest. The world of stone, however, lava. Your ship flies from the Death Gate into a river of lava. Walls of dark rock enclose you in a giant cavern so large that it actually houses a city carved from the stone. You dock the ship a small distance away. Your ship floats in a river of lava, alongside a stone embankment. In the distance, you see a dark city. Okay, this goes there. There's a lava river. Lava flows freely through the channels around you, like a river. Your ship floats easily on the surface. The magically treated wood keeps the angry lava from doing any damage. The heat and fumes are suffocating. Only your innate survival magic, acquiring during your years in the labyrinth, keeps you from dropping to your knees. here are some fields and the city. It's hard to make out more than a blur of furrowed rows in the soil. You'll have to get closer to see it better. Oh, hello there. Here, a hulking figure shuffles from a dried-up pond to a field, long dead. Behind him, a cave opens into the cavern wall. Beyond the lava river, you see a city in the distance. Dead worker? A few struggling plants poke out of the ground. Furrowed rows in the thin dirt indicate that the field was once blanketed with a strange grass. However, many seasons have passed since the field has seen any life-giving water. Can I take some of these? No, the few plants that remain crumble in your hands. The hulking corpse just stares at you.
Greetings. Who are you?
Who? Name Jethro.
What is this place?
What? Place? Home. What are you doing? Doing? Water. Plants.
Would you accompany me?
The corpse shuffles over beside you and looks at you expectantly. Okay, we have a corpse for a companion.
That's a nice bucket. Would you give it to me?
The corpse looks at the bucket for a moment and then silently hands it to you.
See you later, Mr. Excitement.
Okay, we can bring him along with us.
Would you accompany me?
Sure. Can I use this in the lava? Throwing things into a lava river is a really good way to lose them for good. Think a bit before you try this again. The dead worker's dull eyes roam around, confused. Okay, let's check out this cave. Oh, hello. This shallow cave ends in an unnatural wall covered by carved dwarven symbols. A coiled snake studies you. Without any direction, the confused dead worker wanders off. I've taken some rocks. Although not very bulky, are rather heavy. The far wall of the cave is covered with 9 identical carved dwarven symbols. Evil red eyes glower at you. You can almost see its tiny brain trying to decide if you are food or a threat. Either way, it doesn't seem to like you very much. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's bring the worker.
Would you accompany me?
You're surrounded by the stone buildings of the deserted town, including a clock tower to the east and an elegant residence to the north. The dead worker's dull eyes roam around, confused. Okay, let's go north. Actually, let's check this first. Look at the statue. Oh, the worker confused. He went away again. I think we might only have him for 2 screens or something. The statue wears a crown and holds a scepter. With the haze in the air, you can't discern more from this distance. The clock's circular face has 16 marks around the edge. The single hand points to just before the second mark. Okay, I've entered the house. And we can enter the clock tower. That's it. Clock tower or house. Let's enter the house. Speak with this guy. Dead butler. So he's also dead. You stand in the foyer of a small house. Stairs lead up to another level and double doors are set in the east wall.
How may I be of assistance, sir?
The decaying butler attempts to draw himself up, but the weight of the chain around his waist keeps him slumped over.
Who are you?
My name is Aramas. I serve Balthazar, the master of the house. His work is very important and cannot be disturbed, so he retains me and a few other servants to handle the domestic work.
Who else does Balthazar retain to serve him?
In addition to myself, Balthazar employs a nanny who cares for the master's young children, and a housekeeper who does the cooking as well.
There's a housekeeper? Isn't it kind of dirty around here? I'd say this housekeeper is slacking off.
The house is a little dusty, but I'm sure she'll get on the job soon.
Who is Balthazar?
Balthazar is the personal necromancer to the king of Khan Telas.
Of course.
He's one of the most celebrated sorcerers in the city.
Necromancer. That explains a whole lot.
What important work is he doing?
He does what all necromancers do. He resurrects and sustains the dead so that they can serve the living. But he also spends much of his time researching new magic arts. It's not a very popular activity among other necromancers. In fact, it used to be a crime. But as my master was mentor to most of the others, and because he is a man of power and influence, his research isn't questioned. Not that Balthazar would care in any case.
What magic arts is he researching?
What do I look like? A necromancer? I'm just his personal servant. I don't pry into his work. It could be hazardous to my health.
Actually, you look like a corpse. I doubt your health could deteriorate much more.
There's no need to be rude.
Why can't he be disturbed?
An interruption at the wrong time could have disastrous results. His old butler interrupted him once. My first job was to scrape his entrails off the walls.
Is that why that door is locked?
Yes, he takes his breaks at certain times, and only then is it safe to enter. Soon it will be time for his tea. I'm waiting for the housekeeper to bring it.
Enough about your employer.
As you wish.
What's behind that door?
That's my master's study, wherein he works his magic and researches the mystic arts. It is off limits to everyone, including his children, especially his children. The volatile nature of his work makes even the briefest visit potentially fatal.
Why do you have a key chained around your waist?
This is the key to the study door. My master requires his privacy. I only open the door to give him his meals and when he breaks for tea. Right now, I am waiting for the housekeeper to give me the tea tray. The master will be expecting it soon.
Do you think you could open the door for me? The master is expecting my visit.
The master isn't expecting anyone today. And even if he was, he would leave his study to speak with you. He doesn't allow anyone inside, except myself.
Could you go in and give him a message for me?
I can only enter at predetermined times when it's safe to do so. I cannot enter simply to give a message to him.
When exactly do you expect the housekeeper to bring you the tea?
Oh, she should be along any time now.
Well, why don't you let me carry that key? It looks a little heavy for you.
It's strange. Lately, this key has seemed heavier than ever. But it is my duty to hold it for my master. I shall never let it out of my possession while I live.
But you're dead, so give me the key.
I'm not dead, just a little confused. I did have a bad fight with the plague some time ago, but I pulled through. I'm here, aren't I? Though since then everything has seemed somewhat fuzzy.
Is there any other way into the study?
There is a window, but it's very high off the ground. Too dangerous to enter or exit. The master made the study as inaccessible as possible. He doesn't want to be disturbed.
Perhaps we should talk about something else.
As you wish.
Why are you standing around? Aren't you dead?
Dead? Dead tired, maybe. I don't get enough of rest. Lately, even the act of standing upright has become difficult. I need a vacation.
Where is everyone?
Where is who? Whom did you expect to find? I believe you'll find the children upstairs with the nanny, and the master hard at work in his study.
Could you accompany me?
Regrettably, I cannot. I have to serve my previous charge. I must stay here as long as my master desires.
What is this place?
Well, this is the city of Telestia, one of the oldest and grandest cities in Abarrach, aside from the city.
I'm sorry, what? Sound seems to have cut off.
And we're very proud of our accomplishments. Telestia was built by the dwarves for the other mensch races when they were all still alive. The dwarves themselves lived in caves not too far from here.
Okay, so let me just read this again since his sound cut off for some reason. City of Telestia, one of the oldest and grandest cities in Abarrach, aside from the cities in Cairn Necros at the world's core. We've lived here for thousands of years and we're very proud of our accomplishments. Telestia was built by the dwarves for the other mensch races when they were all still alive. The dwarves themselves lived in caves not too far from here.
Some of the dwarves' artistry remains throughout the city. For example, the iron statue in the clock tower is ancient. It is the exact likeness of Clytus the first in the line of dynasts who have ruled over Abarrach. The detail is excellent. Even the royal scepter, still carried by Clytus XIV, is a perfect replica of the original. They say that the statue was made by Clytus I's personal dwarf slave after the dwarf went mad. The madness obviously didn't affect his artistic talent, though.
What happened to the other races?
The weaker races died off shortly after they were transplanted to this world. They didn't have strong enough magic to survive the harsh environment of Abarrach.
Where exactly did the dwarves live?
I believe they once lived in caves just outside of the city. I can't be certain, however, that it isn't simply legend. The region hasn't been explored for a long time.
Where is Cairn Necros?
It's at the core of the world. I've never been there. In fact, no one in this Cairn has. We've never traveled outside of the city. We've never had to.
Does the dynast rule this city?
Not really. We've never even seen him. Our king has ruled Telestia for ages. The dynast only rules here on paper.
Is this scepter anything special?
Of course. It is the scepter of rulership. It gives incredible magic power to he who wields it. The original dynast, Clytus I, created the scepter, and his line has used it to secure their leadership ever since. No one would dare oppose a dynast who has control of the scepter.
Why did Clytus's slave go mad?
The dwarf was the first experiment in necromancy. Some say that the art wasn't perfected when Clytus I brought his slave back to life, and that insanity was the result. Afterward, Clytus banished the slave back to the ancestral dwarven lair to sit in solitude forever. This didn't affect the dwarf's devotion to his lord, however. When a body is resurrected, it learns very little, and it usually reverts to doing whatever it did during life. The dwarf continued to worship Clytus I. He even carved the statue in the clock tower to honor him. Few believe that Clytus was deserving of such an honor, but even fewer will admit that in public. Clytus XIV reveres his ancestor, and no one speaks ill of either of them without fear of being turned to dust.
Enough about this place.
As you wish.
You're as interesting as a corpse. This conversation is over.
As you wish.
Interesting, so we cannot open the door. So let's see, the furniture is either carved from rock or made from petrified weeds of some sort. Actually, the end result is rather attractive. The key is wrought from silver and looks fairly heavy. It pulls at the chain wrapped around the dead butler and seems as though it's almost enough to tip him over. You tug at the key. The dead butler doesn't stop you, but the heavy chain around his waist does. A thick silver chain is wrapped around the waist of the dead butler. Although it's old, it remains as strong as the day it was forged. A key is attached to it. Alright, let's go upstairs.
The smallest people made their home in caves and caverns.
The cramped nursery holds a few items: an empty crib, a tiny table, and the rocking chair occupied by an old woman. The empty stone crib is covered by a thick blanket of dust. I can take the tea set. The tiny tea set is a toy that belonged to the previous occupant of this nursery. Dust surrounds the chair, but is absent where the rockers touch the ground. It's as if the chair had been rocking for a long time without ever having changed position. An old woman sits in the chair. Listen to the dead nanny. You listen to her recite the poem The Little Ones in its entirety. When she finishes, she starts reading it again from the top.
People made their home in caves and caverns all their own. They'll only come outside to play when all the arrows point the way. Which way, you ask? Where are they found? Just out of sight under the ground. Don't look too close, they'll run away, unless the arrows point the way.
So they'll only come out to play once all the arrows point the way.
In caves and caverns all their own, they'll only come outside to play.
I believe it has to do with the arrows we found at the cavern. It has to do with dwarves. The dead nanny ignores you, her decayed brain totally engrossed in the task of reading aloud from the children's book.
Hey, Grandma, over here!
The animated corpse pays no attention to you. She just continues to read from the book.
Give me that book. Maybe if you didn't have your nose in it, you'd notice that I'm trying to speak to you.
In caves and caverns all
the dead nanny ignores you and continues to read, so you decide to remove the book yourself. You slide the book out of the dead nanny's wrinkled hands. She doesn't resist, but no sooner is the book gone than she stops speaking. Her eyes go blank and she sits motionless.
Who are you?
I'm the nanny of this family. I take care of the children while the master does his research. In fact, I should be reading to the children right now as they go to sleep. Have you seen my book?
Why do you read the same rhyme over and over?
I read until the children have gone to sleep. I must read now. Where is my book? I can't find my book.
Who do you read to?
To the children. Aren't they precious? I've taken care of children most of my life. I love to read to them. I should be reading to them now.
Would you accompany me? I know where your book is.
You know where my book is? Please take me to it. I must read to the children. They can't go to sleep without their rhymes. They need me, you see.
Okay, so we can get the dead nanny to accompany us.
You're quite the conversationalist, but I've other things to do.
Alright, so not really sure what to do here. Maybe give the tea set to the butler so he'll open a door or something. Anyways, that's something for next time. For now, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed some more Deathgate. And as usual, don't miss the next episode, because I won't. I will see you all next time.